Welcome students. In today's class, we'll study about the scope of botany. In the previous class, we have discussed about different branches of botany. In today's class, we will see scope of botany. Why do we study botany? What is the use of studying it? How can we use this knowledge of plants in helping ourselves in carrying out daily activities of our life? How the science helps, how the botany helps. So today we will discuss in detail about the scope of botany in our life. Here from the ancient years, research is continuously going on, and here because of the recent problem which we are facing as of now, the biggest problem which we are facing as of now is of shortage of food. It is of shortage of food. Here with the increase in population, with the very rapid increase in the population and with the limited resources, increase in population and with limited resources, there is a shortage of food materials. There is shortage of food production. So when we study about plants, we will be able to know how to increase that production. We will be able to know how to increase the production of the food by utilizing various resources. Here there are different, how to enhance the crop yield. When we study about the plants now, we will be able to know how to enhance, how to increase the crop yield, how to increase the productivity of the plants. Because of the severe increase in the population, we are having the problem of that is less food resources. So how to improve that one? How to enhance the crop yield? How to enhance the productivity of the food material? We will be able to know when we study in detail about the plants. When we study about plants, we will be able to know how to enhance it, how to improve the productivity by here this green revolution. By implementing green revolution, we can increase the productivity of the plants, and by producing plants which are disease free. By producing the plants which are disease free, by producing the plants which are disease resistant, because we all know plants will be producing the food material, but here the major threat to that food material is because of the pest, is because of the insects and pests. So insects and pests will be eating the food, when insects and pests eats the food material. So what happens? There will be shortage of food material. Food material will be destroyed by the insects and pests. Already we are in shortage of food. So if it is further destroyed by insects and pests, we will have more shortage of food. So we will be able to, how can we enhance the productivity? We can enhance the productivity by producing plants, which are pest resistant, which are disease resistant. Here we can enhance the productivity of the food. We can enhance the productivity of the food by production of plants which are disease free and which are disease resistant, So when the plant is resistant to the disease, there won't be any damage or there won't be any threat to the food material by the pests or the insects. So we can produce disease free plants or disease resistant plants in order to enhance the productivity of the crop yield. So next, by using different techniques, by using different plant breeding techniques such as hybridization and genetic engineering, we can show progress. We can show progress in the field of agriculture, horticulture, agriculture in the sense growing of crops, growing of crop plants, horticulture, that is the development of gardens, floriculture, cultivation of flowers, Here horticulture, cultivation of gardens, agriculture, cultivation of crops. So because of the hybridization technique and genetic engineering technique, we are able to increase the productivity in agriculture by using these techniques, by using different plant breeding techniques like hybridization and genetic engineering. We are able to produce plants, we are able to produce hybrid plants, and here because of the production of the hybrid plants, here we are able to produce new plants, we are able to produce new plants, and we are able to produce the plants in many number within a very short period of time. We are able to produce new plants within a short period of time in any season, because here next is it is used to develop hybrid varieties of crops. It is used to develop, that is the techniques of hybridization. With the help of hybridization techniques and with the help of genetic engineering technique, we are able to produce new plants which are hybrid varieties of the crops. We are able to produce new plants which are hybrid varieties of the crops. If here how to increase the major thing which we are doing right now is increasing the productivity of the food material. How to increase the productivity of the food material? First is to implement the techniques of hybridization. Implement the techniques of hybridization and genetic engineering. So by implementing the techniques of hybridization and genetic engineering, we will be able to produce hybrid varieties of crops. We will be able to produce hybrid varieties of crops. They are genetic, that is they are different to the actual crop plants. These are the hybrid varieties. They are the hybrid varieties of the plants. We will be able to produce hybrid varieties because of the hybridization techniques. So with the help of these hybrid varieties, the production of food will be enhanced. The production of food will be enhanced. And here when we study about plant physiology, that is how the plants will function, what is the role of nutrients, how much of nutrients need to be given to the plants in order to increase the productivity, because to increase the productivity the plants require nutrients. In order to grow, the plants require nutrients, but that nutrients should be given to the plants in a specific amount. So how much amount is needed to be given? How much is enough? How much is more? How much is less? So when we study about different plants now, we will be able to know that plants require which minerals in how much quantity, how much amount is needed for the plant to grow properly. This we will be able to know when we study about the plant physiology, functioning of the plants. When we study the functioning of the plants now, we will be able to know that what is responsible for the growth of the plant. For example, hormones are there. Plant hormones are there. Auxins, gibberellin, cytokinins, ethylene, these are the different plant hormones. So how these hormones help in the development of the plant? How these hormones will help in the growth of the plant? Here auxins help in this elongation. Auxins helps in vegetative propagation. Auxins help in vegetative propagation of the plants. You just take a plant, that is a small branch of plant, cutting of a plant, a root cutting or a stem cutting. Just dip it in that is auxin and sow it inside the ground. Plant will be formed. So how much of plant will be, that is growth will be faster. The growth of the plant will be faster. How much of hormone is required? What hormone is required? We have plant growth hormones. Plant growth hormones are the hormones which are responsible for the growth of the plant. So here, if we want to increase the growth, which hormone is needed to be given to the plant? To increase the productivity of the food material, we need to produce plants quickly. We need to produce food in quick time, that is small time. Within a very short period of time, we should be able to produce more number of food. How can we produce it? By the use of one such method is by using of this plant growth hormones. When we spray the plant growth hormones on the plants, the growth will be faster. So, how much of growth hormone should be sprayed? How much of growth hormone is needed to be given to the plant to increase the productivity of the plant? Plant growth hormones play a very important role in the productivity of in the growth of the plants. So, naturally, when the plant grows, it produces food material. So, because of this plant growth hormones, plant will be able to grow properly. And when plants will be able to grow properly, the food production will be good. So, when we study about physiology, plant physiology, we will be able to know the role of hormones. Which hormone is responsible for what function? Which hormone is responsible for what function? For example, gibberellin. It is a hormone. It helps in internodal elongation. That is increase in the length of the plant. It helps in increasing the length of the plant. Sugarcane. If we want to improve the productivity of sugarcane, one example. So what the farmers will do? They'll spray the gibberellin on those plants. So when the gibberellin is sprayed, the length of the plant will increase, the length of the fruit will increase. So instead of this much of sugarcane, we will get this much of sugarcane on the same plant, that is increased size of sugarcane. By spraying gibberellins, we will see the increased size of the sugarcane. So increase in size, it improves productivity. On just one plant, so like this on the many plants, if we spray the gibberellin, so production of sugarcane will be on a larger extent, just to spray. Now the thing is, we need to know, when we study about plant physiology, then we will be able to know which hormone is responsible, and that hormone is needed to be given in how much amounts. For example, to increase the shelf life, cytokinins, aging, to delay the aging in plants, the hormone which is required is cytokinins. Nowadays, to increase the shelf life, here the farmers will spray cytokinins so that the food should not get spoiled quickly. Instead of getting spoiled in 4 days, it will take 6 to 7 days to spoil. So it increases the shelf life. And here role of that is ethylene. Ethylene is a hormone which is helpful in ripening of fruits. So the farmers will pick the fruits from the plants earlier, before it matures on the plant, because it takes a lot longer time to mature on the plant. As soon as it grows on the plant, the farmers pluck it up and use artificial hormones to ripe it. So here this we also the breaking of seed dormancy. Seed dormancy is here in the conditions the seed will unable to germinate. Seed dormancy is a condition in which the seed is unable to germinate, unable to grow into a plant. So in order to do that, so what hormones are to be given to break the seed dormancy, to see that the seed germinates into a plant? Because when seed germinates into plants, it will grow and give the food materials. The basic thing is The basic thing is we need to increase the productivity of the food material. How can we increase the productivity of the food material? This botany is helping us in increasing the productivity, in solving the problem of food. How it is solving? That is by producing plants which are disease free, which are disease resistant. How we can enhance the fruit production? By producing the plants which are disease resistant. So when we able to study about the different insects, how does it affects and all, then only we will be, how the genes will affect, then only we will be able to produce those plants. By using this genetic engineering technique, that is by altering the genetic makeup of the plant, we are able to produce disease resistant plants. So when the plants are disease resistant, then they won't get destroyed by the insects and pests, and the food productivity will be more. And here when we have the knowledge of plant physiology, that is how the minerals will help, how hormones will help in increasing the growth of the plant, then we will be able to produce a large amount of food. Will be able to enhance the productivity of the food. And here, apart from this, it also helps, that is plant phytopathology. Pathology is the science which deals with the symptoms and control of the disease. The thing is, in order to increase the productivity, we have to keep a check on the plants. We have to keep a check on the insects which will be affecting the plants. So we should be able to study in detail about all those, which organisms causes which diseases, what are the symptoms it causes, how to control the disease, how to control that pest. So when we study botany, we will be able to know that which disease is caused in which plant by which insect and how to control that disease. So when we are able to control that disease, then we can increase the productivity. Here in tissue culture technique, one of the scope of botany is tissue culture technique. In this tissue culture technique, we will be able to grow many number of plants, many number of plants in a short time and in a very short place. In a very short place, small place, we will be able to grow a large number of plants, and that too in any season, So one of the scope of botany, one area in which botany is helpful is helpful in the production of plants with the help of tissue culture. Production of plants with the help of tissue culture. Tissue culture, the plants, that is large number of plants are produced within a very short duration in a very small space. Next is, we'll get to know about the plants. We'll get to know about the plants which yields us different products. That is, when we study botany, we'll be able to know the different plants, which plants will be giving us what products. All plants will not give us same product. There are certain plants which gives us food. There are certain plants which gives us timber. There are certain plants which gives us medicine. There are certain plants which gives us other products. So when we study in detail about the plants, then we will be able to know which plants will be giving what products apart from food. In this first we have discussed is about the food. The first and the foremost thing which we get from the plants is food. Scope is how it is useful to us in our daily life. It is useful to us in our daily life by increasing the productivity of the food. By using different techniques, by the knowledge of physiology, that is hormones, minerals, etc., and by controlling the diseases. By controlling the disease and disease causing organisms, we are increasing the productivity of the food material. That is the first and the foremost thing which we get from the plants. Apart from food, plants give us other products also, such as here beverages, coffee, tea. Where we get this coffee and tea? From the plant itself. Condiments, spices, the things that is the substances which adds flavor and smell to the food. Those are condiments. Apart from food, we get beverages from the plants. We get condiments. We get rubber. We get rubber from plants. We get gum from plants. We get dyes. That is, we use in coloring. Dyes which we use for coloring. We get oils. We get oils, aromatic oils, edible oil. Apart from food, crop production, apart from agriculture, apart from horticulture, apart from floriculture, here when we study about the plants, we will be able to know what are the other products which they give. What are the other products which they give. Apart from this, now when we study in detail about the plants, now we will be able to know which plants are the plants which gives us medicines. Which plants are the plants which gives us medicines. So there are many plants which gives us medicines, and there are certain plants. There are certain plants which gives us, here there are certain plants like this Jatropha and Pongamia. Jatropha and Pongamia. These plants, from these plants we have recently produced biodiesel. From these plants we have recently produced biodiesel. There are many fossil plants which gives us, the plants which used to be there in earlier, they have given us products such as petrol. Fossil plants, they have given us products such as petrol, diesel, fuel, coal. These are all the products which we get from the fossil plants, And here when we study about the plants, we will be able to control the pollution. Pollution, apart from food production, pollution control is one of the major problem which we are facing now. So here this botany helps in overcoming that problem of pollution. Overcoming the problem of pollution by planting trees. Now you will say, already space is less, where will we plant trees? Here, in order to curb the pollution, we have to plant such trees which does not require large space, which does not require the labor work, that is manual, which does not require the attention of man. So on the roadsides, on the sides of the roads, on the footpaths, that is the plants and trees are grown. Plants and trees are grown, which does not require the care of man. So in this way, on the space, we are not using a big space and all to control the pollution. Just on the sides, first we have to determine which plants need to be grown. Plants which will be growing very faster, the plants which does not require the care of the that is human beings and all. So such plants will be taken and planted on the footpaths and on the roads, so that road is utilized, extra place we are not using. In the limited space only we are planting many number of trees. So with the trees, the problem of pollution can be overcome. And here we will be planting, in order to prevent soil erosion, we will be planting plants which are soil binding plants. Soil pollution can also be controlled. By this one. Here, recycling of nutrients by saprophytes. All these things helps in the recycling of nutrient is one of the one important aspect in the growth of the plants. Recycling of nutrients is one important aspect in the growth of the plants. So this recycling of nutrients, this reduction of greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is because increase in the carbon emissions. Because of the factories and this buses, vehicles and all, carbon emission is increasing day by day. How to decrease that carbon emission? Because if carbon is emitted, it causes global warming. It causes global warming, that is greenhouse effect. So how to decrease it? By planting trees. By planting trees. So by planting trees, we will be able to overcome the overcome the problem of pollution. We will be able to overcome the problem of greenhouse effect. By planting plants which are soil binding, we will be able to overcome the problem of soil erosion. Basically, what we study in this scope is how botany is useful to us. How botany is useful to us. In what way botany is useful to us? Botany is useful to us in increasing the production of food by using techniques such as hybridization and genetic engineering, and with the help of which we will be able to produce hybrid varieties of plants. Hybrid varieties of plants which will be grown in any season in a shorter duration. Next is by using the knowledge of the plants, that is by using the knowledge of growth hormones, minerals and all, we will be able to increase the shelf life, the productivity of the plants. By studying about the disease causing organisms, how to control them, we can increase the productivity of the plants. We can increase the productivity of the food material. Apart from food material, it also helps in giving us other important products such as timber, wood and all. So we will be able to study, when we know in detail about the plants now, then only we will be able to study, will be able to tell which plant will give us what product. This products, this products such as fossil fuels, they are also the product of plants only. So basically, plants are very helpful to us in in giving us various products and also in helping the environment.